I served in various ministries and performed various ad hoc activities, culminating in my retirement as a permanent secretary from the Ministry of Defense. In between, I served as a permanent secretary, Economic Affairs Office in the presidency, and I think I was the longest serving permanent secretary in that office, having served for about over 5 years, during which I did a lot of satisfying work. I was the coordinator for the economic summits that held, apart from the first one, the second, third, fourth, and fifth, I was the coordinator and the relationship manager, so to say, with the public sector participation. And that was when I performed the role for which I'm generally known. I was the secretary to the Vision 2010 committee, a program that worked tirelessly for 1 year, and in the end, came up with a report which unfortunately was not fully implemented. If it had been, many people have said that Nigeria might have been a different place. And then it was after I retired from service that I went back to the university to complete legal studies that I started. And I went to the law school and became, a lawyer, a practicing lawyer, which is a profession that I cherish and the one that I now perform, because I have a flourishing chamber with a friend, and we are doing a lot of work. So I think in brief, that is the only thing that I can add to what you've already said. I have been in the private sector, I have been in the public sector, I have been in the political arena. So I know precisely what our local problems are. These are problems of poverty, illiteracy, very poor health condition, especially in respect of our women and the youth. So definitely, I have a very, very clear vision of wishing to have a Katsina state that is populated by well-endowed, well-motivated people that are desirous of achieving things for themselves, and with a government that is caring and one that is poised to making the basic things of life not only available but also affordable to all. Now that is my vision, and I think I wish to translate it through the implementation of an 8-point agenda. Yes, and this agenda actually, first of all, it seeks to strengthen our traditional and religious values. Now, it is within this ambit that you come to the issues of ensuring security through collective effort. Then we also have, as a leader, the problem we always face is that more often than not, leaders expect you to do what they say rather than what they do. But I believe that leadership, a good leadership, is one that is epitomized by good example. A leader should live what he or she preaches. Then, you find that at the moment, the vogue or the problem afflicting Nigeria is that of security, or should I say insecurity. And I believe that inasmuch as the federal government is in control of the apparatus, cohesive, if one may say, or the military and law enforcement agencies. Nonetheless, I think within the purview of the Constitution, there is a provision that gives a level of involvement of local authorities in the maintenance of laws and orders in the respective areas. That is why the state governors are the chief security officers. So really, in conjunction with the already existing structure, especially traditional rulership and structure, I intend to exploit that to ensure that Katsina remains the peaceful place it is. the current government in Katsina is doing a marvelous job, an excellent job in maintaining the security of life and property here. We hear so many things happen in other places, but somehow Katsina has been safe, and it is not by accident, it was by design and by hard work. Now, then the issue of employment, because when you talk of poverty, poverty comes up when people are idle or they are not optimally utilized. We have teeming youth of both gender, men and women, that have finished their education, some of them up to the tertiary level, but they are idle. I intend to really evolve policies that will make, the best use of available resources to ensure that these people are employed. One, for economic benefit and for social benefit. Because if you are employed, you have dignity, you have respect for yourself, and you earn respect from others. So really, employment and empowerment generation, because the two go side by side. Some require to be employed, others require to be empowered. Some require a combination of this. So I intend to come up with policies that will bring about this. Then the issue of agriculture. You see, Katsina is an agrarian environment. All along, we have relied on rain-fed agriculture, but I feel that was in the past. We have relied on traditional method of seedling. We have relied on traditional method of evolving or producing fertilizers. But I think that area is gone. We now have to adopt modern method. First of all, to use the available resources to ensure that agriculture is carried out all year round. Secondly, you also have to find a market. At the moment, there is a serious disparity. You will find out that whereas a basket of tomato may cost 1,000 naira in Katsina, it may cost 10,000 naira in Calabar. But because there is no proper information as to what happens in the market is really imperfect, so to say, as we say in economics. But I think there is need for the local authorities, and here I mean the state authorities, to take active interest in exploiting markets and encouraging their people to really package this produce and take it there. Now, and then agriculture is no longer an occupation for the feeding of families. It is now a business. And here I'm happy to say that the government is doing a good job in making it so. We have a good Minister of Agriculture, and I have to commend him. And we also say that we also have, at the state level, we are doing a good job, and we have all the resources. I believe that if we use agriculture alone in Katsina, we can not only feed our people, occupy our people, empower our people, but make our people wealthy. Then we have the issue of education. Happily enough, Katsina has been a cradle of education right from the onset. I believe that the state government now is doing a lot in expanding the infrastructure, but I think a lot more needs to be done from where they have stopped. We need to have high quality teachers. We need to motivate these teachers. We need to ensure that facilities exist. We need to aim. At the moment, the best yardstick of evaluating the quality is passing examination, unfortunately. So we have to work toward that. We have to make sure that 90% or 99% of all students that sit for examination in Katsina attain the required grade, so that they could be able to fill our quota in the various tertiary institutions. And even the ones, at the moment in Katsina, we have 3 universities, in fact 4, because the Federal College of Education also is also is a degree awarding this. And I intend to really raise that. We have a polytechnic. I intend to raise that to a degree awarding institution, so that we can absorb all the students that we can produce, and then ensure that the education is qualitative. Now, the health issue. At the moment, we have a problem, in West Africa, the problem of Ebola. Happily enough, Nigeria has done a marvelous job. And here I want to commend the president, the governors, the health workers, and all those who have really worked tirelessly to ensure that the problem of Ebola is something of the past. But we need to do a lot. We need to put more attention on both preventive and curative jointly. If we do that, we will have a healthy society. A healthy society is a good society, is a productive society. And finally, I think that we have a problem. I have a tradition, I have a culture, I have a history of public service. And I believe that the way that the public sector is performing now, I think a lot requires or needs to be done to improve it. I intend to bring the public service to its former glory, involve the civil servant in the day-to-day running, because they are supposed to be there. They are supposed to advise, to guide, and to see to implementation of policies. And being there, they are the best custodians of knowledge as to how things should be done. And they are the best custodians of integrity. I believe that if the public or civil service is really properly motivated, well-led, well-trained, with proper welfare, then and only then will you see to the addressing of the problem of corruption, improving the issue of performance, and producing a society that is satisfied with itself and one that is focused on achieving much greater results than the one that are on record. I think this is an explanation of my 8-point agenda, and I believe that I have what it takes in terms of both in character and in learning to ensure that it comes into being. Because as I have said, I want a Katsina state that is populated by God-fearing, and this is very important, industrious people, and governed by a just administration that takes all the necessary steps to ensure that the basic needs of life are not only available but affordable. And we also go a step further to make the Katsina society a wealthy society, a peaceful society, a society that is satisfied with itself, and by implication, a society that will go out and look at any other society in Nigeria from the position of equality, not from position of inferiority.